What I really appreciate about Mills Teacher Scholars is it gives me a chance to reflect and think about what's happening in my own classroom. Oftentimes I don't get a chance to just think about what's going on and what am I doing for my children because it's so busy in the classroom, but here I get to talk about it and I also get to hear feedback from other teachers.
Mills Teacher Scholars is a teacher learning program out of the Mills College School of Education. And we partner with districts and with schools to really help them create vibrant, effective teacher learning teams that put understanding student learning really at the center of what they're doing.
We come to this really trying to create a space where Jamie can share her uncertainty around what's happening with students. She can celebrate the growth that's happened so far this year with students. And she can just think more about, okay, this is where they are now, where do I want them to be by the end of the year? One of our major goals is to help teachers really unpack what it means to support students' social-emotional learning in order to really impact student outcomes and support their academic learning. The secondary goal is to support these teachers to build a learning community of their own in which they're coming together with colleagues from all these schools to learn with and from one another, and also to start to think about the conditions that are required for adult learning.
My inquiry is around partner reading, and my indicators of success are, the first one is that they're engaged in the books, the second one is that they're participating with each other and including each other, and then the third one is that they're talking about their books beyond just reading them.
Mills Teacher Scholars afforded us the opportunity to work with a group that has expertise, who's had years of developing a practice around teacher inquiry that's grounded in what teachers find most important, which is what's going on in their classroom now. What are the dilemmas that are emerging with their students today?
Were you going to say did you know? Did you know that some little kids, like my little cousin.
When I first started this, I was thinking I want them to have freedom and choice of what to do during this time. What's important is just that they're actually working together. But then I thought, well, what I actually want is that they're talking about their books. And so then I started to think, well, what language do they have to be able to do that?
It's easy for us to think of social and emotional skills as something separate from academics, when really they go hand in hand. You can't do academics without these foundational social and emotional skills. And so I think this work is really showing how they are embedded and integrated together and allowing teachers to be really intentional with what they're doing.
The fishbowl is really useful because it gives me a chance to say what I'm thinking, and when the listeners are offering what they're seeing from the data, it gives me a new perspective and lets me think about questions that I haven't seen for myself or haven't even thought about myself.
And then the third piece with the conversation about the books, I was wondering what Jamie is envisioning for that piece of this process to look like.
Yeah, it sounds like she's handed off to them the notion that to be engaged in a book means you have an idea you could share. And there was that one point in the data where the student says, "Where's your sharing page? Like, have you figured that out yet?" And then the boy turns to the page and then she prompts again and says, "Well, are you gonna say the did you know? Like, are you really prepared to share about this book?" And I think for me, that was really empowering in them taking ownership over what does it actually mean to be engaged in a book. It means you have an idea, you have something to share, you can present a question. We can't just teach math or we can't just teach science. We have to teach students how to be self-aware, how to have relationship, and how to engage with one another in order for them to learn.
I'm thinking how I'm gonna support them with the why we're doing it, why do we talk about our books?
It was this lining up the work that Mills Teacher Scholars was doing with the work that Oakland Unified was doing around social emotional learning, and then our partnership with the Center for the Collaborative Classroom. So once we could line up those three pieces, then we knew we were on our way.